Okay, I have never played Heaven's Vault before. I don't know anything about it. Don't know what genre it's in, what kind of game it is, what it looks like. Nothing at all. So let's try to boot it up here. I am having some Comcast issues today, so if the stream gets disrupted, I'll stitch together whatever we accomplished today with whatever I reschedule for next week. If you're watching in the future on YouTube, it might be a video game. I sail to the temple where the gods have gathered, to gaze at their faces in deep pools. In my boat, the souls of the years sail with me. Look at the dead. Okay. Is it Egypt themed? I can never tell if that's just art or if it actually is what the in-game world looks like. Subtitles. Probably fine to keep it on the base resolution, but if things are small, I can lower that.
Stories don't have tidy beginnings. The past is always present.
This came out last year.
But there has to be a spark. Something that brings the past to light.
And carefully. Got a little robot, okay. Oh, interesting. Ranging dialogue. The kinds of systems that are a surprise when you know nothing about games before playing them. What am I gonna do? So we've got cool, flat 2D sprites in a 3D environment. Take a moment to rest before you walk, please. Okay, so you do have a endurance meter, it looks like. Interesting. Hey, Lit Effects, how you doing? Bricked up opening. There is something here. People out, do you think? Something written here. Ancient script. Must have been cut in when the mortar was still wet. Oh, is this like an archaeology game? I like the tone of this so far. This is cool. Hey! Title drop in the ancient script. That's cool. University of Eox, some weeks earlier.
My story begins on Iox.
Iox, okay.
That was where I met the robot.
The friendly robot. Yeah, on Iox, right? Must be a planet. Hey, she said my full name. Thanks, robot. You are a robot, so that's fair. Professor Miari? Am I in trouble? Did not say. It's the university planet. Do you have a name, robot? No? Robots do not have names. They are, as I understand it, interchangeable. I've known a few robots. They're all a little different. How kind of you to say so. So why has she sent you? I'm still showing us connected. Does everyone lose stream? The recorder prevents me from serious error. This way. You should know the professor's urgency was remarkable. Yeah. Required to report it. Required to? Of course. Professor Miari is my primary user. I'll try to sugarcoat your opinion. You do that for me? Of course. I have been tasked with your well-being. Shall we proceed? I think it's a bunch of still sprites that are chained together. I mean, I guess that all animation is basically that, but...
I was 15 when Mayari rescued me from the slums of Elbereth and brought me here.
It's like
I'd never
Paper
seen
Mario.
such luxury or such kindness.
It's a really cool concept, though. I kind of like the fade when you do sudden turns, so it's less abrupt.
I still don't know why she did it.
Oh yeah, there you are. Came as soon as I got your message. Your work is important to you. Do what I can to help you, Professor. Appreciate your kindness. You're our expert on history. Tell me what you make of this. It's a brooch. As it's certainly old. Empire period. Device is the eagle and sun. Well, the scholar sent this brooch to me. Janiki. Maybe, I'm not sure. I want to see what this list is here. Oh, this is cool. Makes like a little timeline that you can check. Just updated. Interesting. 31 minutes ago to now. 4,800 years ago. Okay, cool. Look at the detail. Ancient markings. Getting some crazy force feedback, haptic feedback on the controller there. Holy? Beloved friend. I'm only guessing. That's pretty cool. I don't know if that helps at all. I wonder if you actually get to like decide what it says. Significance of this brooch, but I don't know what. Right, Revenant. I'm already impressed. It's something that indie devs have been knocking out of the park for like over a decade now. Diverse casts. Tried contacting him? See you, Ludifix. Wherever he is, he's on his own. Not everyone's required to travel with a robot. Can't go hunting the nebula for missing people. Okay. I'll visit Mercy in the Verdant Pass. I need to raise my stipend. I'll see what I can dig up. This game's really cool. Taking the robot with me. Harry seems to trust me. What does that add? I don't know why exactly. Cool. Okay, so I can review all of those things separately. Right on. Looking on Huang. He's eager to see you. Eager why? Couldn't possibly imagine. He's rather beneath you, but you could at least say good faith to him. Bear that in mind. You're as cold as the rivers themselves. Down there by the tree. So walk straight past him and way in. Good on deck. He gave me a brooch. Empire period brooch in the shape of an eagle and sun. Translate. Let's try Holy Emperor instead. I might need more context before this works. Yeah, okay, not yet. Yeah, that's cool. It's all fitting in the same space. It's wonderful to be accompanying you. Oh, yes? Why is that? I find humans fascinating. You're very different to most here. You've only recently been activated. Calling you 6. Six will remember that. I think I got the translation on the brooch right. Getting more crazy haptic feedback on the controller. Let's take another look at this. It's Holy Beloved. Maybe I was right when I got Beloved Friend to begin with. Closer to it. Okay, it's still wrong. Still wasting your time on your curious notions of history? History isn't mine. It belongs to everybody. Most of us are decent people and do not want it. Owe yourself to a real science like metallics or loop philosophy. History is a science. It's the exploration of the past through evidence and theory. You suck, dude. People think you won't be content until you unearth your own skull. May the waters light your way. I hate him. Understandable. What do you think of that sculpture? I hate it. I agree. Model just like it on her desk. Interesting. Let me see if I can mess around with that a little bit more here. Fox does not believe in history. What is it they think you do? Fox believes in the loop. They believe what has happened will happen again. I think I'm discovering the future. That's kind of cool. Okay. Let's see if I can find descriptions, brooch, translate. Don't know if this yet works by just getting the right combination. Right. I don't think it was Holy Emperor. It's not like it's Holy Beloved. There's only one other combination of Friend Emperor, right? All right. I think it's probably Beloved Friend, but we'll see. Swang! What's up? Didn't know you were back on Iox. How are you, Hong? Been reading all day. What were you reading? Mazwai claims the Holy Empire was founded by 3 wolves racing to heaven, each one toward the throat of the other, and as the 3 fell to earth. I like fictional efforts to recreate mythology from scratch. It's cool. Some fun stuff in like Pillars of Eternity around that.
He began to talk with such passion that his eyes glittered, and he seemed to grow at least an inch taller.
Fictional mythology and cosmology are just fun. Leah? Yes. What do you make of this brooch? It's a nice piece. I've not seen anything quite like it. Something written on the back. Descriptive form of the word for God. Are you sure? Sure as one ever is. Seen a lot of the ruins here. So maybe holy is closer to right. Gotcha, that's cool. Nice. Classic Holy Empire, Eagle and Sun. Heavy brooches hold up heavy cloth. Light brooches hold up light cloth. Must have belonged to someone important. Can you read ancient? Of course not. Not yet, anyway. Or it'll be my life's work. I found a line of ancient in the annals of Mazwa you might like. Time. Always. Empress. Oh, this is cool. That's a long one. Second word doesn't look like anything I've seen before. Let's try banished. Next one was remind me of my translation for holy. Oh, that's cool. If that's what the core gameplay loop is in this, then I'm super pumped to check this out more. Wouldn't be robot. Labors would make the most sense. Let's try buried instead. Empress buried labors? It's quite a monster, isn't it? Something about the Empress? She was a Republican. I'm wondering if this game ends up being what I think it is, which is piecing together the meaning of words based on the constituent radicals. That's my fucking shit. And if that's not what this game is, then I want someone to make that as a game. Talked about before, one of my favorite experiences was I Went to a really shitty public school in central Ohio. We had a teacher there who happened to speak fluent Mandarin, so I got to take 3 years of Mandarin in Podunk, Ohio. And I've just really loved reading, like figuring out the different characters and understanding what the constituent radicals were, because it's such a different way of thinking than Romance language etymology, right? So a lot of it is connected to specific cultural ideals, right? Or even like specific proverbs. Like there's a word that only means this because the constituent radicals are referring to some story that everybody in mainland China knows. Fancy goth stack, yeah, possibly. I feel like the goth stack is mostly about English syntax, whereas I think this one might be more about culture, but I guess we'll find out, right? Because, like, it's very dependent on the culture whether the holy radical or the god radical would show up in the word emperor, right? You could have a culture where they believe the emperor is connected to God or is the opposite of God, right? I think Marstead will have a few ruins of its own. It's a moon of pigs and rice, mistress. Part of the Ajax Protectorate. It's not wealthy. I do like that you have this like wooden room. It's cool. Yeah, I like to discover it on my own. Sure, I'll find out. Just it's fun to speculate. Plot course. Sail. Nice. Like an example of ways cultural differences could change the meaning of words. In ancient Chinese, it was believed that people thought with their heart. So the heart radical is often used in a way that you might use a brain in like modern Western culture.
Mayari wanted us to sail to Mayerzi. It was a short sail through fast waters.
Whoa, this is cool. Oregon Trail. Turn right shortly, mistress. Force of the river is fastest in the middle. There are deeper currents below. I'm not just traveling through space. It's a subordinate gameplay loop. Sweep sail. Oh, that's cool. I really like the way this game eases you into this setting. Open with lots of things that are familiar. Quote from the Book of the Dead. University campus, a place that looks like ancient Egypt, and you're like, oh wait, no, it's not actually on Earth. This is great. Cool. A farming moon.
We stepped off the ship and into the mud. Mud covered the ground and rock. And everywhere I looked,
Ship
things
reminds
were
me of
growing
Outer
from the
Wilds.
And some of those things had legs.
Breathe, mistress. Rest assured, I am most happy for you all the same. Well then, let's see where Remba's got to. If we're really lucky, he'll have found an old pony. Question, where do we start? There's a series of rice terraces. If we climb up away from the water, it should take us to the village. They weren't kidding when they said pigs and rice. I really like this game's art style. It's like a bunch of hand-drawn character sprites exploring a 3D environment.
The air smelled earthy and sweet.
Did you recognize Renbo if we saw him? Did you meet him? He activated me after I was uncovered. Oh. New facts about the robots, okay. Or at least about him specifically. It specifically. There's a point of interest over here. What's this all about? So much rice. So much rice. Just lying around. Scoop it up into my bag to feed an Elberathian family for a week. No one would even notice it was gone. I actually notice. Why can't everywhere be like this? Enough food and space and water to spare?
This was what passed for a street on Mersey. Buildings on stilts, jumping out of the bushes like children. It was so quiet.
Reach the well.
Three paths met at the heart of the village. I could imagine them all, sitting around here in the evenings, sipping rucker and singing. It seemed nice.
Stranger. Greetings. Greetings to you. Welcome to Mersey. Come to trade? Actually, I'm looking for someone. Not a Mayersian, surely. We are alike as ants to you. It's not true. So you are looking for a Mayersian? It's an Ioxian. We don't keep any of those in our pens. Good luck with your search. They say the nebula is wide. Okay, dude. Sorry. So it tells me something about the Ioxians versus the Mayersians. You already told me to look, so I'm looking. Continue talking. Not finished with you yet, is that so? Please, it's important I find my friend. No disrespect. We have seen no strangers here until today. Good faith to you. I like that they're getting around the planet is a city thing by doing the Outer Wild solution of having a planet literally be a city. You're from Iox? I was born on Elbereth, which is where she said people were starving, so it's a neat way for us to learn more about her and the setting she's in. Are you from Iox? My name is Aaliyah. And you are not her. Not Miari. That's who you were waiting for? Heard your voice, you're Ioxian. It's called Heaven's Vault. Do you know Janiki Renba? Told me someone might come. Oh, I'm not far into it yet to know. I think it's like archaeology. What did he leave? So I would show you the way. Good faith to you. Thank you. I want them to see me talking to you. Left something with the goddess. And why would he do a thing like that? It's like that's all getting added onto the timeline here, right? Oh, nice. There's grown-ups with job summary whenever you pause. This is the thing you were just doing. But knew he was in trouble. What did he find? It's kind of similar to the start of The Longest Journey, Dreamfall. What's it got to do with this brooch? Good faith. My apologies. My pigs need me. No one wants to talk to me. Ah, there it is. No one on Mercy wants to talk to me. There's more to be learned here, mistress. Shall we leave? Woman said Janiki left something here. With the goddess. Let's see if we can find it. Not many people tending all these crops. Plants are not like pigs, they do not require constant husbandry. I think all the NPCs in the game have ghost feet. I'm guessing because their art style looks kind of weird when they're trying to connect them with the ground. Mud, perhaps, or animals sleep underneath. Suppose there's nothing old here? No ruins or ancient kings? No crumbled towers? I think the goddess is this big old statue over here. It's a farmyard. Didn't actually mean to select that one, that was a mistake. Whoa. Beautifully crafted. It is quite old. Someone's carved something here. It's a horrible thing to have done. Symbols in the ancient script. I'd be able to translate them. So let's have the same radicals as holy. I know one of these words, I'll have to guess the other two. Grouping resembles my word for emperor. Interesting. Yeah, it's very similar to the symbols for Empress and Holy, right? Say it's a goddess of light. Yeah, because it has that similar comma. Oh man, if what I think this game is what it is, then I'm really, really excited. So change my mind, but Holy Light Goddess? Maybe they have a pig god too. And I can get people to confirm specific words after I speculate on them. I would expect pigs to be atheists. Shrunba's hidden whatever he's hidden. Here, almost buried in the grass, a shard of crystal. It is most curious. This moon does not contain any crystals of this type. Indications of a crystal moon somewhere in the cyclones. What kind of crystal is it? 6. Iolite. Valueless. Stone inside the brooch is the same as Remda's crystal. It might come from the same source. This is cool. Collected enough evidence to infer a lost site exists. Yeah, let's get out of here. Leave the moon. Thanks for the shortcut name. So we left the warm, wet fields of Marstead. Cool. So let's sail back to Renba left a crystal for Mary to find. What was he trying to tell her? Certain of my analysis. Originated from a moon somewhere on the edge of the cyclones. Never been that way. No one has. There are wild rivers. What exactly did Remba discover? The dangers of sailing through a hurricane? Do my best to keep you safe. Hopefully Renba had a robot with him who will have said something similar. Appreciate the honesty, friend. He has a market moon. Highlight moon. Did you really travel this way? I have to tell her that his ship was most likely torn apart by wild rivers. That's a choice. Market moon and her birthplace. What trope was dumb? Let's give it a shot and hope we don't die. Doesn't seem like that kind of game, though. Oh yeah, I was saying that earlier. Like I said, it reminds me of Outer Wilds that it's fixing the problem of each planet being a town because it like literally is. Like they are literally each a town. both ways will go. So, I like that there's dialogue while you're doing this too. There are other ships out here. But you rarely see them. Silk Pass. It goes at the same speed. No one ever passes you by. People who like people stay on the ground. You don't like people, mistress? That explains a lot. Lunatics. Yeah, this game is specifically set up its setting so that the whole planet is a city abstraction works, I think. It's very similar to Outer Wilds in that respect. It's like, you know what? We only have this one basic idea for this planet, so let's have that be all that's here. Shit. Oh, it lets me reset that turn. That's helpful. Appreciate that, game. I think it would actually punish me for that. It doesn't seem like that kind of game. It's very pretty. Either river continues to our destination. Because our destination is in the center of these? Something the matter? Detecting elevated emotional markers. Like what? Shortness of tone. Music here is very pretty too. Are you serious? Humor is a weakness, mistress. Vicinity of Iolite Moon. Should be somewhere nearby. We still haven't caught up to the in media res opening. There's a rock up ahead. What have we found? That's a good question. Above the crystal moon. Why would anyone come to a lonely spot like this? The moon is rich in purple iolite crystals. There's no surface flow. Can't land the ship. Brenda must have gone down somehow. Must have used a hopper. We might do the same. Hopper? The Nightingale is fitted with a hopper for instantaneous travel. How does it work? It's like beaming tech. Source fires at a subject and casts it into the hopper's eye. The eye refracts the signal. How does it work? It is beaming, I think. I have no idea whatsoever. Is it safe? Not really. This moon doesn't have any air. have to go down alone. If there's no air, how did Rinpa go down without a robot? Would have been impossible. Rinpa was a roboticist. He must have had a robot with him. Despite what the professor told us. Cool. I like how the actual robot is fairly simple and like the face and arms are
later, the robot
projection.
Was gone, and I was alone in the dark.
It's a different title drop. Oh, they're not going to have me play as the robot. That's interesting. If I flew away now, I could be rid of that thing. What were you up to, Rinpa? Makes roboticists leave Iox when Iox is the only moon with robots. Yo, what's up? That was creepy. Found something. Ability is high that it's Renva's chest. Moon below us was once a quarry. This box is not an artifact. Moon snakes. Cloth. Thick fabric. What is this? Some kind of robe? Does it have markings on it? I want markings. Give me markings. Hey! It's a cathartic milestone of Heaven's Vault. Related words. Bristle. Has that same crook symbol in it, right? Guardian. Okay, so it's giving you some more context in those. Let's try Guardians. That was a long-ass phrase. And it has... I like how it has a question mark if you're currently guessing at what it means, and none if someone has told you outright that that's what it means, right? Let's say pilgrims, because it actually has holy in there, right? Could be a we. Interesting if the holy symbol is in a we, though, right? Probably not and. I like pray. Let's try we pilgrims pray. Were you a pilgrim, Renba? Some ancient faith, perhaps, kept secret from the powers back on Iox. See that sure, but they got us not as a clue, but as an offering. Cool. There's more in here. More symbols, please. Yeah, so I like that the game tracks what your previous guesses are. It can kind of become a logic puzzle in that respect, where you can be like, oh, I previously thought that this phrase meant goddess, but the new context that I get from this phrase means it definitely can't be that. It must be something else, right? Oh, this is where I'm going to get to confirm some of these? That's cool. Nice. Feeling confident about my translation of gods. Oh, this game is awesome. I'm also certain of us, which has the same, it has holy in it, which is really cool. Because if their culture, like, implies that a person is holy in a way. Let's see. Gods protect us, would be my guess. Because I don't see those. It looks like The word for pilgrim has that character in it, right? Game Saucer, this game is fucking awesome. I'm really excited to play more of it. I guess I might be wrong about Buried, but that symbol also shows up in Buried. Let's try to protect. Yeah, we learned a little bit that Iox believes in some kind of loop concept that, like, time is a circle. So studying history is pointless because it's all going to play out again or something like that. Gods protect us. Let's try that. Blessing for safety. I wonder if it worked. It comes from the same site as the robe. I like that it takes a while to figure out what the core gameplay loop is. I assumed it was going to be close to the whole translation concept, but I like the way that it goes about confirming your guesses. Because that's always the problem with this sort of game, as we've talked about before, that, like, you can sometimes give away what the answer is just by giving you so few choices that one of the choices isn't something you would have guessed on your own, you know? Alright, that symbol is short enough that it's probably... yeah. Ray. Related words. Period, protect, light. No, that doesn't have the symbol we see in both Buried and Protect. It lets me go back to previous phrases that I wasn't sure about if the new one is giving me more context. Let's see. Protect could be bless, offer, or tell. If it were bless, I would expect it to have the holy symbol. Offer and tell make less sense, so I'm going to say that that probably is actually protect. Say it's pray for something. That would make sense. This game is so cool. So, like, okay, it has one of the symbols from... it has two of the symbols from Protect, but in a different order. The symbol on the far right also shows up in light, but it's not the same symbol. It's got an extra stroke on it, so it's probably not the same thing. Yeah, which it might not. It's possible that they made it follow English just to make it easier to play. Kind of like the Goth stack works because of your familiarity with English syntax, but you'd have to rewrite the game entirely for a different language. Let's see. I don't think it would be love, although maybe protect and love share radicals. It's interesting because I could see, if I am right about the word protect, I could see protect tying to loyalty, friendship, or love. That's kind of interesting to think about. I'll just pick one for now. We'll say loyalty. We have friendship elsewhere that we could check. See what Huang thinks. It's from the same place word period as that statuette shard. I don't think we've seen anything equivalent to this sculpture before. Must have originated on a site that's undocumented. Rainbow's hoarding artifacts. He wanted Miari to find them. Why would Miari care? It doesn't make sense. Can you work out where the robe originated? It's not a good location. I'm sure Renba's equally keen to be found. Show me. Traveled far from home, into the eye of the Cyclones. Gotcha. Have enough information to find it. Cool. Let's go there. That sounds like a great idea. So far, I would say this game reminds me of the Gostek and Outer Wilds. And maybe a third game that's a little bit more adventure gamey, direct story. There's not actually that much dialogue in Outer Wilds. Humans have strange hobbies. Hold on, 6. I can't hold on. I'll go that way. There you go. Travel with a robot and use one to visit that off-river moon. Why did Miari think he was traveling alone? That's a really good question. What happened to his robot? The whole area is wild. There's a lot of haptic feedback here. Better check the hull when we land next. Near the eye of the Cyclones. Cannot see which way to turn. Choose one and explore. It's a good thing. Like they're using moon to basically mean cool fantasy river island, right? Like they're closer to the tiny islands in Wind Waker, I think. But I think the term moon is flavorful.
The hopper fired, and for a moment I was gone. Not aboard the Nightingale, not on the moon beneath. It could have been a heartbeat or an hour. But I didn't feel the cold until I reappeared.
This looks like the planet from the In Media Res opening. We'll see. Feeling about this one. Whatever Renbo was after, we're close. Taking considerable risk. Grumpy butler robot. I'm sure it's going to be just that simple. Hold it.
Here, in the middle of the hurricane, there was a house. It was fine. Tucked in below the overhanging rock.
That's cool. So I think this is a different planet from the one at the very beginning.
Large enough for 2 families to argue over. It would have been measly on Iox and grand on Elbereth. But here, it was impossible.
Elbereth is her birth planet. Iox is the planet where she lives now. Buildings do not occur naturally. Thanks. Vault over the wall here. The floor would give way beneath you. Looks like stone to me, 6. So it's heavy and more likely to fall. Game over. Yeah, I think basically any part of their drawings that make contact with the 3D environment are made slightly translucent, so it looks less janky. So you have to imagine where it's actually connecting to the floor.
The ghosts were still here, cooking, reading, doing whatever ghosts do. The house was empty, but it hadn't been abandoned.
Interesting. Would live here, and they couldn't. Hardly comfortable. Whoever built this place wasn't worried about making it cozy. An inscription? Yes! What's it say? What's it say? What's it say? What's it say? Oh man, get hype. I recognize some of these characters. Alright, that has the holy symbol in it. And the symbol for we. Haha. It could be I, right? Because if it's I, then we is the exact same symbol, but it has the 4 notches on it. Let's see. It's possibly loyalty, possibly buried. Although it's interesting that it's calling buried and loyalty and is relevant, but not protect. I fear death. If that one's buried, you'd think this would be death, but they don't have enough in common with each other. Defended. Probably not. It's too long to be and, I think. Should be goddess, because I already know which word is goddess. Yeah, I could tell like that's the cathartic milestone is finding an inscription. So this potentially has the same character as what I think might be loyalty. So if it is loyalty, it would make sense if this was beloved. That makes me want to double check the brooch after this. Let's try. Pretty sure I'm right about I. It's a beautiful example of the script. Scratch by someone lying down. Blocked or blocked or both. If I build something as big as this out here, what is it for? That is a good question. Ruin and rubble. Is that smoke? That is definitely smoke. Interesting. I think that would work. Glint among the stones. Please have something carved in it. Come on. Copper dagger. Does it have something written on the blade? Boo. No inscription. I don't even need to bring a weapon here. What's this? Binoculars? Different from the rest of the building. Telescope? Material on this is totally wrong. Probably brought here by Renba, I would guess. Roy must have built. I must remember to ask her about it. Something was fitted inside the frame and removed by force. Did you take something, Renba? Oh, interesting. I like how you're both trying to figure out what happened and also understand the language better. I guess if I had one complaint about this game is that I wish it would explain the you're going to guess at translations and then occasionally get them confirmed loop really quickly. Like even spend the first 2 minutes on that. Because I could imagine someone getting frustrated with the beginning and not really understanding, like, why am I just guessing? And it doesn't give me any feedback as to whether I was right or wrong. How'd you get down from that arch? Couldn't climb over the wall, so I drove myself off the cliff edge. Once I dug myself out of the sand, I found a door. It seems dangerous. Are you in one piece? Another cot. I found one just like it on the floor above. Someone died here. You're sure? The evidence is minor but significant. A person lay on the floor here for some time after death. Wasn't Renba, okay. Whoever here died scores of years ago. Lack of moisture on the moon has preserved the traces, but they are old. Where are the bones? It's removed recently. Saying Renba took them? Interesting. Why would he take a body? Must have been something here that he needed. That's even more word. Yes. Thank you, 6. So I found a place I can exit. Let me check elsewhere first. Building won't actually cave in on us, will it? Cannot guarantee that. I'm gonna guess no, but I don't think it's that kind of game. Heavy wooden box. Did anyone carve the name of the box on it? Something inscribed in the lid. Might be a clue as to what's inside. Yay! Alright, if I'm right about I and we, that means that that quadruple stroke character is like a plural. Let's do enormous. We're big. Fully buried, strong. A lot of these are new symbols. The only one I recognize is the one in buried. And I might still be wrong about that being buried. I guess also technically the one in light, but I don't know if that's light or not. We'll try treasures. Let's say of. Because you want to, like, if you're having the really simple, minimal stroke characters, you would expect they would be the simplest possible terms, right? Treasures of great, say, value. Could also be truth if that's light. You can see where I got this from earlier. That's interesting. Now it's cross-referencing to the one I just found. That's cool. Yeah, light seems the most likely out of them. So it could be truth or value. I'm gonna guess value. Now, what's interesting is, like, do you think the orientation of the comma symbol is relevant? Like, is the fact that it's inverted mean anything relative to the word treasures? If I'm right that that is treasures. I'm gonna guess treasures of great value. That'll do for now. Sounds interesting. Open it up, 6. I like fingers for leverage. You don't have an attachment for prying? First robot had something. Maybe there's something around here I can use. Hey, the copper dagger. That's cool. Why? Bless the waters. The dagger's shattered. Oh no, I was actually just wondering. It's probably a really bad idea to use an ancient.
And there it was, just lying there.
The greatest
treasure I ever found. From inside the coffer, from the distant past of the nebula's once great empire, it was a crown.
Cool. Eagle and sun motif. What's this crown doing here? I don't think this was a seat of power. Did Janiki bring it here and hide it? That seems the most likely of those three things. Coffer has been open in at least 500 years. Hey, something's written on the rim. Oh man, look at all this. This is data right here. All right, that's a short enough phrase that I'm assuming it's a. Let's see. Holy light. Which again, I might be wrong about those. Let's try rivers. Rivers of light. But that would change my earlier use of the word light. Yeah, I was thinking that earlier, exactly, that this was light and it should have been water. Because it kind of has that swoop to it, right? I do like that this game lets you guess like that, and then you get more information for the next phrase. I guess the information the game is giving you is that these words are definitely related, and I guess they're definitely related regardless of whether you made that connection or not. So that can help you to figure out the answer. Rivers of light. We sail. I guess that would make sense if it's there with pilgrims and water. I think it's generally showing you radicals that they have in common, yeah. Although not necessarily, because this one, none of those radicals in this symbol are in the word water. Again, I think forever would make sense if we're implying that the 4 strokes means is like an intensifier. Like on rivers of light, we sail forever. I guess. Cool. I could have used that axe to open the chest instead of breaking my dagger.
After the dead air of the house, it was good to see the sky again.
There are 2 intriguing artifacts. Fortunately, I broke one of them. Not finished yet. Who lived here? Who died here? What happened to Renma? You just fell off that? A carving. What does it say? Count any of these words anywhere else, I can still make some guesses. This one has to be a noun. I don't think it would be on Rivers of Death. I think it's light still. Of for, let's say from. Huh. Because it's the same as for, but with a little cross symbol in the bottom left corner. So I guess you could argue that for and from are related, right? If this is in fact for, it could be a different word. I'm going to guess from, though. I'm saying that's forever. Not convinced that this one's danger. Now I'm wondering what that X means, right? It could be an inverter. For versus from. That could mean that that's should be 2 instead of 4. Go back. But 2 is not an option. Okay. So this could be will. This could be an observatory. Maybe that was the thing that was on the top, and it's light from the night. But if it's light from the night, then does it make sense that this would be forever? I guess if the 4 strokes radical means it's an intensifier, then that could mean many nights, right? Which you could say many nights is forever. It's a cool idea. We'll go with that. Although there's more to it than just night, so because there's this other symbol before it. It looks like it's connected to the word that I thought was buried. Just light from night makes sense. Not really. Unless they're talking about like the stars, but those don't really exist in this universe. Didn't think of this earlier. There can't have been many trees here to use. The wood must have been brought in. The modifier might make it night. Yeah, so passing of time, many passings of time is forever. That's a good idea, Serp. I like that. This game is a shit. Oh, is it a replacement dagger? It's just another dagger. Does this one have an inscription on it? Corroded but beautifully crafted. Eagle and sun. Got one of these words in my notebook, but I can take a chance on what's left. I think the X is a inverter. So a double X would make sense, would be never, right? I don't know if that's right. Shocking that you'd enjoy a translation game. Flavors. We can also mean us. It would make sense that is or are would be a really simple character, right? Most commonly used verb in any language. And I think we can also be us. It could be robots. But it's interesting that the words for goddess and empress would be in robot too. So I'm gonna keep labors for now. It has rebels. I think this being R seems likely, and this being never seems likely. Okay, I'll leave that as is. It's not right, but there's an inscription up here. It could be water goddess. It has a lot of the holy symbols that we've seen before. Let's see. Water goddess bless these. This. And I think it remembers in the timeline where you found it. So the fact that it's over a hearth makes me wonder if it is a water goddess, but it still could be. That seems a little bit too complicated to be this or these. Like it's too specific, you know? It could be harvest. It would be weird if it was fire, right? Like, but if it is fire, then it makes sense that light and fire are similar symbols, right? Because it's the most similar to light, and it's over a hearth. Yeah, but it's the reason it's weird is like, is it water goddess plus this fire? That's odd. It could be something that's not water. River's light value. We know it's not light because I think it's rivers of light elsewhere. We'll guess this. This is a fireplace after all. It says found carved above the hearth. Ah, they were afraid of burning the house down. I think once it gives you that much context from your guess, that means you're probably close to being right. Probably could have used that fire poker to open up the thing. Is it worth anything? The camera shows you the chest. Worth something to someone. It would have been worth something to me until I broke the dagger. I guess that's where I learned that there are potential failure states in this, or at least it was a choice state. I'll be right back.
In the yard behind the house, there were tools. Plots of earth, washing hung out to dry. It was like the owner had slipped inside for a quick rucker before they came back to chop more wood. Someone had been building a life on this miserable rock.
Bone dry. What is this place? Too small for a barracks. Is it a burial? Something hanging. Might be ceramic? Sure. Ancient wood. Can't even rot here. Something cut into it. Yeah, B, if it is another form of is, would make sense, right? Interesting. Holy prey, great. Strong, which would be interesting because it has a lot of radicals in common with holy and prey. Come back to that one. See, if that's death, that's a negator. It's gonna be peace. It'd be silent in peace, maybe. That could be not war, which is interesting. If this is guarded, right? It could be like to fight or to make violence. What are my other options for beloved? It's interesting to think about like the complexity of the word too, right? Is this something that you would expect a culture to have a really simple word for? Silent is closer to holy, or joyful is closer to holy? I guess it could be strong too. Oh, great looks like it's many, 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 many big, maybe. So maybe it's be strong in death. And that's either the absence of life or the absence of fight. Should make it peace. This is a grave. Cool. We're at time. This game is really cool. I'm excited to play more of it. Future Marstead, the core gameplay loop of this game is that you are translating things that you find using context from other translations you've discovered. And the critical thing is that when you're looking at the other bits of text, it gives you the context where you discovered it. Like above the hearth might mean it has something to do with fire. Etched in a wooden marker that's a grave might have something to do with death, that kind of a thing. If a word has a question mark next to it, that means you've guessed at the meaning. If it doesn't have a question mark, that means you are certain of the meaning. You can become certain of the meaning by talking to NPCs that happen to know, or by finding the exact inscriptions in multiple places. Eventually, she comes to a conclusion that this must be correct. But go ahead and keep exploring this area. There's more to look at here, and there's another door inside the building that you can check out. Looks like we just unlocked a new location, too, which is cool. Last save just now. Thanks, game. This game is awesome. This is extremely my shit. Thank you, Game Saucer. You were right to include that. We'll play it some more next time it's on Subblock or if it shows up in the voting spreadsheet. I'll be back in a bit for our next game.